All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it a second. Let a couple people get on board, and we'll get started with Transformation Tuesday in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Dr. Kevin Drina, and this is Transformation Tuesday, and we are on Monday evening, 7 p.m., but there may be another way of telling time. So I invite you to investigate that. However, I got too deep too fast. Hopefully the volume's coming in loud and clear. The chat is up, so let me know. I believe the chat is coming in good. Yes, chat is up. The volume should be coming in great, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about... Well, got a couple things happening here. Transformation. And so, yes, this is Transformation Tuesday on a Monday evening. And we're going to be diving in a little bit more, again, about the spleen meridian. Okay, you are electric, and everything is connected to everything in your system. And you have connections to things outside of your body. And there's all kinds of ways we are measuring that now. So stay tuned. Bear with me. We're getting to Transformation Tuesday. You are an electrical being. You have amazing abilities within you, and when you can learn to tap into that, you can learn to understand the language of within. Then you can have more personal power, more self-control, more self-regulation, and you can shift your life and co-create your life in a much greater place to be. So stay tuned. How is everybody tonight? Check in. We have a couple. My setup is improving. I got the big microphone with the nice. It sounds great. Everything sounds really wonderful. I'm happy to say, and I want to say thank you to everyone tuning in on the Four Foundations group. Today was day one. We kicking off a 21-day trial, and how are you coming along and getting those 8 components of the Four Foundations in? I'm hoping that you're doing good. I'm hoping that you got a couple things figured out. Because it's about self-love, self-nourishment, and we got to do that. Today, I don't know about you, today was a tough one for me, personally. And that meant I had to do some strategic self-love, strategic self-care in my world today. And I have a whole tool chest of how I do and go about those things. And this is effective for all kinds of things. And I'm going to do the legal thing for a minute. I'm going to say anything I say is not for diagnosing or treating any concern. In fact, I'm going to say something funny right now for you. I've never healed anything. I never will heal anything. That is the job of your body's internal wisdom, internal forces. I mean, just like you cut your finger, it gets better in a couple of days. That's a small thing. All right. But your body does operate in much bigger capacities and has a whole list of abilities if properly nourished. And that is physically, mentally, emotionally, yes, nutritionally, of course, but also energetically. So stay tuned and let's dive in a little bit deeper, because last week I talked a little bit about the spleen, and we highlighted one specific muscle group. I want to bring that in now. And yes, it is time for change. And so we're going into spleen again. And you can see right here on the right hand side, it starts right here, goes up there, goes down the body. And this is coming from Touch for Health. So anyone wants to know where this is coming from, it's Touch for Health. This book is phenomenal. It's the public access to really deep knowledge in the traditional Chinese medicine world. But this is really the Western approach, also known as applied kinesiology. So the spleen meridian goes down in the leg, down to the foot, and I don't show it here in this picture, but right to the most inside portion of your big toe. And the point of me showing the pictures is there's connections to different muscles. We're going to highlight, I'm going to go deeper in one of these muscle groups in just a moment. Last time we highlighted the trapezius muscle. All right, see if we can zoom in a little closer here. Yeah, I like that. Everyone loves a good massage on the shoulders. And this muscle is right here. You can see it. And everyone loves to get that spot rubbed right in there. That, in fact, there's another portion of the trapezius muscle. Let's see if I can find a way to get you to see it nice and easy. Oh, that's not going to do it. Let's see here. Where is it? I'm looking for what's called the upper trapezius muscle. Maybe that's a different portion. But nonetheless, the mid and lower trapezius. So yes, this part of the trapezius goes up here to the back of the head, back of the skull. And so the job of this is to physically keep your head upright. And you can see right here, T7, T8, there's a spinal bone there. That's like the physical foundation of this whole upper back and neck zone. So if this bone is stuck out of position, the body can't self-correct it for whatever the reason may be, then everything above it is an extra challenge. And this muscle over here on the right, the trapezius, has to work harder. So when, in fact, when you're rubbing those muscles, although it feels really good, it ends up making the muscles a little bit less responsive, and the body starts to fall even more forward. It's a funny thing. However, what I want to point out to this in this connection is that if there's an issue in the, you can see it here, if the issue in the meridian, anywhere along the meridian here, there or down on the leg, it can cause something in the muscle to act up. And it can short circuit something in the spine to act up. The spine bones act like a circuit breaker many times. Yes, it's like a circuit breaker. So what's the job of a circuit breaker if you don't know? If there's, well, it's probably more than one job, but the one I'm referring to right now is if there's like a lightning strike in the pole outside, and the lightning goes up the wire and goes right into the house. So the circuit breaker's job is to stop the excess flow so it flips the circuit. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. This is an analogy for education purposes, but I believe it's accurate. And that circuit breaker flips to protect the house from burning down, stops the surge of electricity going in. However, now the power in the house is not operating correctly or at all. And if that power of the room that the circuit breaker flipped off was a refrigerator, for example, well, then the food in that refrigerator would be okay for a couple of days, but it would go rotten after a while. So that's the analogy we want to understand. And there's research to back this up. There's wonderful studies about where there is physical blockage, meaning there's degeneration and arthritis right around the nerve that goes to supply wherever this nerve that comes out of the spot. When there's pressure on that from abnormal alignment, arthritis, all kinds of other considerations, then it changes the nerve supply, which changes the function of how these muscles could work, or how the organ that is related to this works. Now, I didn't pull up that chart for you. I'm going to pull up right now, though. It's called a spinal innervation chart. And I want to be certain I know. I report to you the accurate information. I'd love to see that. I'm looking for a very specific chart that I'd love to see. This one's pretty. I mean, they're pretty good. This is pretty good. Wish I knew the name of the one I'm looking for. It's fat digestion, liver and gallbladder, stomach, ulcers, kidney issues. This is the nerve supply to T7, T8. And what's fantastic is that it correlates with the meridian that regulates the spleen. And it regulates these muscles. So there's a nerve, there's a spinal bone, there's a meridian, there's a muscle, and I'm also going to show you here in a second, there's a thought pattern that goes with each of these zones. The body is amazing. It's all interconnected. You are all interconnected. So it's a wonder why some people can have great success for some things, and then the same kind of person walks up into their office with the same kind of health condition of someone they just helped, and they can't figure it out. Well, it's a different system that is affecting the same thing. This is why having either multiple professionals looking at your situation, or having someone who has a lot of knowledge in different areas, or someone who's got a number of professionals in their single location that are holistically oriented. Look, It's very clear that in an emergency situation, there's no one better than our emergency room situation, emergency room professionals, the equipment, the knowledge, the ability in this nation. However, when it comes to maintaining health, wellness, expressing longevity, expressing vitality, I don't accidentally look in someone's bathroom closet and I see a bunch of orange pills, go, you know what, that person's so healthy. Excuse me, orange bottle pills, and think they're so healthy. No, I don't do that. I don't know if anybody has ever done that. When they go look and there's tons and tons and tons and tons of bottles in someone's medicine cabinet. Does that scream health to you? Does that scream vitality to you? So that's what we're talking about. And so that being said, back to this, the interconnectedness of the human body. Let's take a look at some of the mind questions and see if I can get this centered for you. This is where I want right there. Let's see, get a better view on that. All right, sorry about that. Let's move it there. Yes. Okay, so the spleen meridian, the spleen line is right down there. It has an effect on, let's highlight the muscles again. Let's zoom in on the muscles. Okay, so we got, let's see how we can do that. All right, we have latissimus dorsi. We talked about the trapezius already. Let's see if I can get this one up here. The triceps. The tricep. It's very interesting. So if someone's having problems in the elbow, someone's having problems in the shoulder right here, and it's funny, you know, the muscle's here, but oftentimes I find pain and symptoms down here in the lower wrist, or I find pain here in the neck, and it's related to the tricep muscle. But we're looking at here, the tricep muscle is here, but it's affected by T7, T8. There's another connection here. And the spleen meridian, which is what we're talking about, which runs up and down the, oh, excuse me, we're too zoomed in, which runs up and down the body. We can see it right here. That can be affecting your arm. So it's not just as clear cut as, hey, my pain's here, doc. Right? There's a lot of interconnections. There's a connection of physical structures nearby that location, also far away from that, as well as mental components. So let's talk about that. Dive into that mental component right now. And the reason we're talking about tonight on Transformation Tuesday is that I wanted to share the next level of how the body's interconnected. In the book I wrote, Decode Your Pain, you can get that at drkeving.com or drkevintransformations.com. And in the back, in fact, I have it here for you. In the back is a map of human emotions and different body parts that they relate to. And one of the keys to helping yourself heal, one of the keys to understanding emotional upsets, emotional pain, problems in life is learning the subconscious language of the human body. See, what's really amazing is that our body is always showing us and always telling us, giving us clues all the time about what's going on in life, how it's interacting. If you've noticed that, give a thumbs up. Say, yes, I've noticed that in the chat. And when you interact, number one, it helps spread the word. So if you're getting some value, type in there something. Let people know that you're watching. Let people know that you're getting some value. And if you had an experience where you've had a problem in your life, a physical problem, and then a physical pain showed up, it's very interesting. Very interesting. So let's see. Hopefully I can pull it up for you. Here we go. Found it. I'm just gonna impromptu put it right up there. I'm gonna edit it right there for you right now, so it looks a lot better. All right, we'll put that right in a nice spot. That way you get the best zoom. And there's so many things that changed. I don't know what happened. Something changed before we got started today, and I've been playing with it all day, get it figured out, but nonetheless. So here's spleen. All right, let's go to the top of the chart. We have the body part, the feeling, emotion associated with it, and the possible symbolism. So here are spleen. All right, sympathy and empathy. Needing to understand, embracing too much, needing to clean up your act, imbalance between lashing out and being too sweet. All right, so let's take a look at the PowerPoint. What's it say? All right, so this is the official Touch for Health book, which is it's the public version of applied kinesiology. That's how I describe it. But here in this muscle metaphor question, how are you doing with keeping your act cleaned up? So these questions, the mind, the subconscious, when we ask ourselves a question, we can then see our response, see what our brain comes up with, because it's coming from within. We have to find it, so to speak. And if there's a relationship between the body part that hurts, and we highlighted them earlier in the show today, and or something in the spine that continues to be an issue, or if you happen to see an acupuncturist, they seem to be putting the lines in the needles in the same spots frequently, or if you're having trouble with spleen type issues, which is immune system stuff. In fact, I'm going to pull up right now spleen functions. All right, that way we can show you, we can look at it all together. We'll pull it up. All right, so let's take a look at it together. Spleen function. Okay, it's part of your lymph nodes, your lymphatic system. So that's part of how your body gets rid of dead tissue, viruses. Well, we'll say, yes, I said the word, so who knows what's going to happen with this video now, but it's well, we can improve our state of being here with allow freedom of speech again in the more robust ways. So bacteria, so we'll call them pathogens, okay? So the spleen is part of the pathogens, handling pathogens in the body. And this term, fighting infection, I have begun to see it in a new way, and many doctors, and this is probably actually an older perspective. The body is not necessarily fighting infection. The body is cleaning house. The body is getting rid of toxins and getting rid of dirt and grime and junk in the body. This is what the immune system is doing. This is a different perspective, because we have things called the microbiome, and we have things called the virome. These are part of our health, immunity systems. So with that being said, I don't think we're fighting. I digress. The conversation is so convoluted right now. It's hard to get your mind wrapped around at any point. So that being said, the concept of what the human being is, the concept of how one is symbiotic with our environment, then we can begin to have a different conversation. In reality, there's a simple answer to why people get sick and why people get well. It's very simple. However, it's a very complicated, deep discussion. But the simplicity is sufficiency and purity versus deficiency and toxicity. So get pure, clean, and enough of the good things that your body requires at the mind, at the body, at the spirit, at the soul levels. And you clean out the toxicity and you avoid deficiency. That's the simplicity of it. Now, with that simplicity, yes, now you got to dive in, and there's lots of factors and lots of considerations that no meme and no one article could ever state clearly what it is. So, with that being said, back to the spleen. Back to the spleen. Okay. Yes, it helps has the white blood cells that handle germs, that handle things that don't belong in your system. It helps repair and generate new blood in the body. Very, very critical. So it's interesting. Now let's take a look again back at the metaphors and the PowerPoint here. Because the thoughts that we think bring about a reality. So these questions are prominent in your life. Let's read the rest of them. Are you attempting to embrace too much? Are you needing to open your arms wide to embrace all your life? See, metaphor is important because we have a left brain and we have a right brain. Well, one part is very analytical, very logical. The other part is very imaginative, creative, metaphorical. So we have to, no one has to do anything, but addressing both sides of how to think with a topic becomes a very valuable skill. Some people, of course, are very gifted analytics. Some are very gifted imaginatives. And there's flavors in between. And I'm sure that maybe there's something beyond. So the point here is your body, your subconscious mind is attempting to show you through signs and symptoms. Many times we are annoyed with these signs and symptoms and we don't want them in our life versus addressing the cause of the signs and the symptoms. And sometimes the causes of those things are very hard to find out. There are definitely ways, holistically, meaning no drugs, no surgery, no harmful tests. There's things that can be done that are non-invasive in that way. I don't know if you've ever been informed of those options. I wasn't until I entered a different kind of healing art practice. So with that being said, your body's always working, always connecting with you, always tuning in with you, and is always relating information back to you, the conscious individual. So as we begin to honor our pain and begin to honor the things that are showing up in our life, there's the message in there. There's a story in there. There's something that must be decoded. If you don't like the way it's showing up, if you don't like the way it's going, if you need something else, then begin to investigate. Blessed and best regards, I'm Dr. Kevin. Thanks for tuning in. It is Monday evening, and we're doing this on a different night than Tuesday for two reasons. Number one, my clinic. I want to make sure I keep my life balanced and organized as best as I can. Number two, there's actually a whole time system of life that begins Tuesday with the sun down that's on the Monday before. So technically, in some time systems, this is the beginning of Tuesday. So they gave me a little bit of legitimacy for like, you know what, I'm going to make my life a bit easier and do my live broadcast on Monday evening, 7 p.m. and call it Transformation Tuesday because I love that name. And a lot of people are going to be watching this tomorrow morning. So thanks for tuning in. And this has been another wonderful session of Transformation Tuesday. I want to thank, this is how, if you're getting value, if you like what's going on here, if you've been following me for however long, there's a couple things you can go to. And I highlighted that a little earlier. Let's pull it up here. And that is, most of it's found at on my on my main website. And I'll see if I can pull this up here. I think we need a different view. Well, that was the one right there. So we'll go here. We'll go there. We'll see if we can pull this up. Here it is. Nope, that's not the one. Touch of Love, it's live and things are happening, and there we are. So we have the store. So drkeving.com. Let's go to the main page. I'll show you a few things. Let me tell you about what the result is of your work in getting connected with things I'm offering. Number one here, we have the Synergy Solutions, quantum remote healing. Maybe people are into energy work. You've been to Reiki. You've been into different forms of massage. You've heard of quantum healing, reconnective healing, matrix energetics healing, different angel healings. There's all kinds of different flavors because different frequencies of beingness. And I work with a group of doctors who we've collected each other to work with on Wednesdays at noon. And for every week I have gone live every Wednesday for over a year now. I'm so pleased, regardless of the day of the year that it is. So maybe there's only one day that could possibly ever be that would not fly. So, keep that day with sanctity. Now, with that being said, every Wednesday, 12 noon, I get together with, at this point, between 4 and 6 live holistic healing physicians that understand how to do this work, and we apply the work. We have a discussion. I've been broadcasting that live, and then we go second half of the show. We go into we set our intentions, we connect, we do the healing work together, and it's a robust experience. It's been wonderful. Down here, Fit 545. This is wellness coach in your pocket. All you have to do is go to drkeving.com, and this is right on the main page. Just scroll down, And this is an amazing thing. I love it. It's basically you get your exercise, 20 minutes, research-based approach it's basically a Tabata method. It's a high-intense interval training. It's for there's beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. And I'll tell you, I've been doing, I like to run, I trail run, I do some sprints here and there, but I did that beginner level, and it definitely challenged me. And what was also beautiful, it had two meditations. So I spent that morning doing a meditation, and it's very nice because it's guided. It guides you through a process versus just sitting quietly. Both have benefits. It also comes with a shopping list of what to do to eat that's in accordance with the training program, and it's phenomenal. It really puts a lot of good food in you in a way that feeds you, and it's a no headache system. You just turn it on and go. My only concern, the only thing I'd say I want to add is make sure you got some music on your own to pop out. So that's on drkeving.com. Also write down, is this the secret language of your body talk? Now, one of the things I need to do is update the audio to make it better, because I've learned a lot over this is like 4 years old now. However, the topic is extremely poignant. It's about 11 minutes long because I was very tight with time on this talk I had to give. And we talk about the secret nature of how the body communicates with you, the conscious. So the unconscious communicates with the conscious, and how does it do that? That's what Transformation Tuesday is all about, beginning to share with you the knowledge of the system of how your body is always informing you what you need to do. It's like an internal compass all the time. And there's a couple different ways in which you can learn to use this internal compass. However, I digress. And then I discuss a little bit more about the different healing modalities. If you're in the Cherry Hill, New Jersey area, then by all means, I do advanced techniques within the field of holistic healthcare. As a chiropractic physician, I use advanced biostructural correction, which is the most predictable, reliable way to get people's posture up, which does a lot for the brain and nervous system. Yes, I'm an energy healer. Yes, I'm a phytotherapist, a herbalist. I'm into organic whole food nutrients. And then here's the book that I talk about here on Transformation Tuesdays: beginning to understand the laws of the mind, and beginning to understand the language which your body is talking to you. That's in that book right there. And that's, there's a bunch of articles I've written over the years that are there as well. And so what is the goodness of you coming there to that? Number one, you have access to a number of unique healers and things that I've combined that I use for myself. That's why I put it on there. And I didn't get to show you the shop, but the shop is basically, I've used these products. I think every human should be using these products. I mean, who doesn't benefit from clean drinking water? I mean, if we can find a simple way to cut expenses on bottles, I mean, that's good for the environment, for plastic, for your pocketbook, and you shift that initial money towards a filter. I mean, it makes a ton of sense, because now you're getting super clean water, not just water that's been in that melted plastic. Oh God, I can't even begin to talk about it. And then the stuff that comes out of the tap, I mean, we need some significant cleaning. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do good. I want you to figure out these little health things that have huge impacts, from learning how to operate and understand the thoughts that are going on, how to operate and understand what the pain that's going on in your physical body, how to find simple solutions for your environment so that you can actually have healthy things going in to nurture you. Because I don't know about you, but I just want to be able to live and breathe as optimally, as purely, as cleanly as possible. And if something simple as addressing how my water gets into my body, I'm all in. But that's me. That's me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I am going to sign off for tonight. I'll end with the mini documentary I put together of different experiences I've had. And any questions, go to drkeving.com and give a thumbs up if you found some value in today. And blessings and best regards. I will see you, Wednesday at noon and next Monday evening. Blessings and best regards.
welcome. I'm Dr. Kevin Jarena, and this is the first introductory video in Becoming Your Own Healer.
She asked me, how can I feel energy? And the first part of feeling energy is the knowledge base. Second part is learning to attune your body to sensing how to detect the energy. To shift healthcare in this society, in this world, we need to shift how we think about ourselves. And some of the information is groundbreaking as I bring concepts and techniques and ideas together, and some of it is built on truths that have been around for all of time, all of written history. And I see that our direction as in healthcare has gone awry, and the vision that I hold, as many healers hold, is to bring about a new perspective, a new paradigm in which how we treat ourselves, how we treat our body, how we treat each other. And there's work to be done. Online is my book, Decode Your Pain. You can go to my website, you can find my e-courses. There's a lot of changes happening, and you may be noticing something waking up within you. And what I'm here to do today is to encourage you to continue to work on yourself, to continue to walk through, identify the fears, identify the angers, identify the worries, and accept that they're there. Know that it's a part of the human condition, and if you can simply accept and allow them to be there, they begin to dissolve.